Now let's go to Pix 11's Henry Rossoff, who's live for us at City Hall and tracking the final movement of all three major candidates. And Henry, a lot of talk, however, today about President Trump on the final day before voting.
Yeah, especially from Democratic frontrunner Zohran Mamdani, who wants as much focus on President Trump as possible. This is all stemming from the big 60 Minutes interview that President Trump gave that aired last night. And in that interview, he said if he had a quote-unquote pick, it would be Andrew Cuomo, and he threatened consequences if Mamdani were to win. Zohran Mamdani was with other elected leaders just outside City Hall on the eve of Election Day. He focused some of his comments on what President Trump said Sunday evening on 60 Minutes.
I'm not a fan of Cuomo one way or the other, but if it's going to be between a bad Democrat and a communist, I'm going to pick the bad Democrat all the time, to be honest with you.
And I think what President Trump's remarks show us last night is what many of us have long known and feared, which is that when you are too busy cashing the checks of the billionaire donors who gave us the second term of this president, you will not be able to stand up to that same president.
We know what Donald Trump will do if Mamdani is elected.
Rallying with predominantly Spanish-speaking supporters in Washington Heights, former Governor Andrew Cuomo focused mainly on what President Trump said moments earlier about what he would do if Mamdani won.
It's going to be hard for me as the president to give a lot of money to New York. Because if you have a communist running New York, all you're doing is wasting the money you're sending there.
That would be devastating to New York, devastating. And we can't let that happen. Mamdani cannot handle Trump. That's clear. And the next mayor has to be able to handle Donald Trump. I handled Donald Trump as governor of New York.
Meanwhile, Curtis Sliwa laid a wreath for the homeless woman who was burned alive on the F train at Coney Island. As the longtime leader of the Guardian Angels, he focused his closing message on public safety.
This final day of campaigning is dedicated to a victim who represents all victims of violent crime in New York City who have been forgotten.
And with 735,000 New Yorkers having already voted early, smashing early voting records, especially for an off-year municipal election, the Board of Elections is urging people to be patient if you still need to vote and plan on going tomorrow, especially before or after normal working hours. It should be lightest during midday with the exception of the lunch rush if you're trying to figure out when you want to vote. Live from City Hall, Henry Rossoff, Pix 11 News.
Little do they know.